So, what's your plan, Mr. Garrett?
How would you like to buy a bank?
What the hell do we know about banking?
Owning a bank is like owning the other side of the real estate business.
There's a few complexities you just left out.
Like what?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not wake up black this morning? Because I'm pretty sure I did. Yep, still black. Still black.
All right, welcome back. That's a little clip from Zen Sam's most recent movie, The Banker, which opens this week. And when I say it's Woman Wednesday, I usually say it's going to be a whopper of a Woman Wednesday. It's going to be this, it's going to be that. Sometimes I say it's a fire-breathing dragon of a Woman Wednesday. And right now, I'm joined by Zen Sams, who always joins me on Wednesday. And I'm also joined by Consuelo again, who joins me now the last two Wednesdays. So hopefully for most of this segment, we'll stay on the two shot. But Zen, thank you so much. Before getting into all the stuff with working with all these great people on your movie, you always weigh in on really great women issues for us here. Last week we were talking about the Harvey Weinstein and all his victims and all that stuff. Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden seem to have distilled down to the top two candidates here. Elizabeth Warren alleged that Bernie Sanders told her that a woman can never be president. Does Bernie have a woman problem?
He has a huge woman problem. And you know, the worst part of it all is that he's coming off as this hero that supports women and loves women. And what I'm really starting to be fearful is that people are buying into this hype of these radicalist, behaviors and socialism and getting everybody, he's smoking mirrors. He wants to get everybody on that same level playing field. And that doesn't sit well with me. And I don't think it sits well with a lot of suburban women and suburban moms. We're extremely, extremely dedicated to healthcare. And for us as moms and as women, it's a huge, huge sticky point. When I can't mathematically understand what Mr. Sanders is trying to do with his 34 trillion, $43 trillion bailout healthcare plan to replace what we currently have in healthcare with one government plan, it's very, very scary.
So you don't think that anything that's possible at all about what he's saying? You fundamentally think that there's just no way that this could be possible?
Well, I think that Bernie Sanders is selling people a dream and he's smoking mirrors, and I think his plan doesn't make sense mathematically. And if you took 2 minutes to look at what he's proposing, it's the recipe for disaster. Because it puts everybody, socialism goes against human nature, in my opinion, as a woman and as a mom. And to put everybody on that same playing field where everybody now is just Medicare for all, everybody's on that same one level where people can't feel or want to do better for themselves and get to that next level is, in many respects, holding certain people back.
Both of you ladies are highly involved in the arts, and being in the arts contains creativity and expression. And the one thing I don't think the young millennials out there really understand is in a socialist or a communist society, one of the things they want is they want the society to be great. They want everyone to be of one type of person.
Yeah.
And they don't like shiny things, and they don't like different colored things. Sure. And under socialism, it takes away the things that are great about what you guys do and what's great about America, which is creativity and personal expression. So I still can't figure out for the life of me, Consuelo, why all these kids, if they're on the left, maybe they're into the arts, they're into creativeness, they don't realize that stuff goes away the more you move to socialism.
Can you imagine if my I'm a seventh generation of Cornelius Vanderbilt, can you imagine if his philosophy was this?
No.
No.
Right. I mean, it was a titan of industry. A guy who changed the world by thinking outside the box, by being an individual and doing things that people thought could never be done. In a social society, you don't have that opportunity because the government quells all that stuff. So I'm still really confused about this.
Well, I mean, look, with Bernie Sanders in the Nevada caucuses, the women, college-educated white women were his weakest supporters. So what does that tell you? I mean, women are very attached to our healthcare system and the status quo. And having somebody like Bernie Sanders come in and try to rattle the cage with things that don't mathematically make sense is extremely frightening. And the thought of this man in power, for me as a mom and as a woman, is extremely, extremely frightening.
Yeah, this was not like, oh, well, you know, you can still hang on to your health care plan and all this
No,
other stuff.
there's
So,
none of that.
No,
you
it
know,
was
if you're a
eradicated.
middle class or upper middle class and you can afford it, this is, you can't have anything. You have what the government gives you, and that's it. Show up every Tuesday for a loaf of bread and a hunk of cheese. And that's all. No, I mean, you know, those are the basic
But I love
tenets of
it.
communism. Everybody
Some
gets
bread
the
and
same
some
thing.
cheese.
You know, it's not. It's. I don't love it. But Zen, in our last minute here, the banker opens this week.
The
You're
banker,
in it.
yes.
If Bernie Sanders was president, there would be no banker
would be no
because
banker.
we would be making propaganda movies about how great our communist system is. Give us a little background. You work with some of the greats of all time in the banker.
So The Banker is a true story. Took place in the 1950s and 60s about two African-American entrepreneurs who took on the banking establishment. Samuel L. Jackson portrays Joe Morris. Anthony Mackie portrays Bernard Garrett. Eunice is played by Nia Long, and it's a true story of how two African Americans rose to the occasion and paved the way for other African Americans to live out the American dream. So The Banker was shot in Atlanta. It premiered this Monday at the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis, Tennessee, where we got to walk through the museum, see American history at its best, and then we got to stand at the where Dr. Martin Luther King was shot at the Lorraine Hotel, which is part of the Civil Rights Museum. We got to stand in that balcony and
Exactly.
really,
Wow.
really,
Wow.
and,
What
and
an
it was an
amazing
amazing
experience
experience.
for
It was
you.
an
My
amazing
God.
night. I had sent some of that footage, but the audio wasn't that good. But yes, it was an incredible evening. The Banker's premiering. It will be out this Friday across theaters. You can Google The Banker showtimes. I know for a fact that it's premiering here at iPic, Fulton Street, and 57th Street Landmark.
Nice.
Not quite as powerful as having you two ladies on the set with me and a wonderful Woman Wednesday show. Zen, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
so
Quite
excited to go and
poignant
see it. I
that
can't
it
wait.
talks about, you know, African Americans rising up to fulfill the American dream right about the same time that basically African American vote saved Joe Biden. And
Yeah,
that's the
it's
main
true.
issue we're talking about today. But we're going to talk about a heck of a lot more. We're going to get the Republican perspective on some of these things when my great friend Jen Kearns joins me, and she's going to mix it up with my buddy David Eisenbach, who's also here. And we're going to take a quick break. Jen's getting even more beautified over there with Sarah. We'll take a quick break, come back with more Liquid Lunch for you right after this.